Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the eighth task, standing on all fours. Baba Yaga is repelled by Vasalisa blessing from her deceased mother and gives Vasalisa light, a furious call on a stick, and tells her to go. The tasks of this part of the tale are this: taking on immense power to see and affect others, receiving the skull, looking at one's life situations in the new light, finding the way back to the old step family. Is Baba Yaga repelled because Vasalisa has received her mother's blessing, or rather is she just repelled by blessedness in general? Actually, not quite either. Considering the later monotheistic overlays to this story, it will also appear that here the story has been shifted to make the Yaga seem afeared of Vasalisa's having been blessed, thereby demonizing this all-wise mother from perhaps as far back in time as the Neolithic era, with an eye to elevating the newer Christian religion and discouraging the older one. The original word in the story might have been Bei, changed to blessing to encourage conversation, but I think the essence of original and archetypical meaning is still present. The issue of the mother's blessing can be interpreted this way: the Yaga is not repelled by the fact of the blessing, but rather put off by the fact that the blessing is from the too good mother, the nice, the sweet, the darling of the psyche. If the Yaga is true to form, she could not care to be too close to, nor for too long near, the too conforming, the too demure side of the feminine nature. Although the Yaga could blow life breath into the mouse child with infinite tenderness, she could be said to know well enough to stay in her own land. Her land is the underworld of the psyche. The too good mother land is that of the topside world. Although sweetness can fit into the wild cannot long fit into sweetness. The women integrate this aspect of the Yaga. They change from accepting without question every thinker, every barb, every dadu, everything that comes their way, to gain a little distance from the sweet blessing of the too good mother. A woman gradually learns not just to look, but to squint and to peer, and then more and more to suffer no fools. Having now, through serving the Yaga, created a capacity within herself which she did not have before, Vasalisa received a portion of the wild hag's power. Some women are afraid of this deep knowing via instinct and intuition will cause them to be reckless or thoughtless. But this is an unfounded fear. Quite the contrary. Lack of intuition, lack of sensitivity to cycles, not only following one's knowing, causes choices which turn out poorly, even disastrously. More often this Yagayan kind of knowledge moves women by small increments, and most often gives direction by conveying a clear picture of what lies beneath or behind the motive, ideas, actions, and the word of others. In the instinctive psyche once beware, then the woman must pay heed. If the deep intuition says, do this, do that, go this way, stop here, go forward, the woman must make corrections to her plan as needed. Intuition is not to be consulted once and then forgotten. It is not disposable. It is to be consulted at all steps along the way, whether the woman's work be clashing with the demon in the interior or completing a task in the outer world. It does not matter whether a woman's concerns and aspirations are personal or global. Before all else, every action begins with strengthening the spirit. Let us consider this call with a fairer light. It is a symbol associated with what some old-style archaeologists call ancestral worship. In later archaeo-religions versions of this story, the skulls on sticks are said to be those of humans whom the Yaga has killed and eaten. But in older religion rites which practice ancestral kinship, bones were recognized as the agents for calling the spirits, the skulls being the most salient part. In ancestral kinship, it is believed that this special and timeless knowledge of the old ones of the community lives on their very bones after death. The skull is thought to be the tomb which houses the powerful remnant of the departed soul, one which, if asked, one can call the entire spirit of the dead person back for time in order to be consulted. It is easy to imagine that the soul self lives right in the bony cathedral of the forehead, with the eyes as windows, mouth as door, and ears as the winds. So when the Yaga gives Vasalisa-8 a skull, she's giving her an old woman icon, an ancestral knower, to carry with her for life. She's initiating her into a matrilineal legacy of knowing, one which, in the caves and canyons of the psyche, remains whole and thriving. So off goes Vasalisa into the dark forest with a fiery skull. She wandered about to find the Yaga. Now she returns home more sure, more certain, hips aimed straight ahead. This is the ascent. This is the ascent from initiation of deep intuition. Intuition has been set into Vasalisa like a center jewel in a crown. When a woman has come this far, she has managed to lift the protection of her own inner too-good mother, learn to expect and deal with adversity in the outer world in a powerful rather than complacent manner. She has become aware of her own shadowy and inhibitory stepmother and stepsisters and the destruction they mean to do to her. She has negotiated through the dark while listening to her inner voice, and has been able to stand to face up the hag, which is the side of her own nature, but also the powerful, wild nature. Thus she is enabled to understand awesome and conscious power, her own and that of others. No more I am afraid of him, her, it. She has served the hag goddess of the psyche, fed the relationship, purified the persona, kept clear thinking. She has gotten to know this wild feminine force and its habits. She has learned to differentiate, to separate thought from feeling. She has learned to recognize the great wild power of her own psyche. She has learned about life and death, and women's gift about it all. With these newly acquired Yaga skills, she need not lack in confidence or potency anymore, having been given the legacy of the mothers, intuition from the human side of her nature, and a wild knowing from Lakasabi side of the psyche. She is well enabled. She goes forward in life, feet placed surely one after the other, womanly. She has coalesced all her power and sees the world now and her life through this new light. Let us see what happens when the woman behaves thusly.